Good day, everyone. 大家好, salam sejahtera semua. This is the GMT plus 8 football fan again, witnessing the first match watched live for the World Cup 2026. The match in mind was the Brazil 1-1 Morocco draw at 6 p.m. New York, New Jersey, equivalent to 12 hours later, 6 a.m. GMT plus 8 time zone. This presentation is heavily supported by AI to get the resources for the content of this presentation. Let's get started. In Malaysia, we have some free-to-air TV in the RTM channels, which is belonging to the government. And this is a snapshot of the match, close to full time plus 10 minutes extra time, injury time given for the match, drawing 1-1. If you watch the match, you recall the legends looking at it in helplessly, knowing that the current crop of players are not even on par on what they were used to be. And this is the squad from the 2002 World Cup champions team. And if you look at the evolution from 2002 to today, in this particular year, the gap has been closed significantly from the rank first for Brazil in 2002 and Morocco ranked 83rd in the world. But now there are just one ranking difference between the number 6 and number 7. Therefore, we expect the quality to be very negligible since they are so closely ranked today. If you look at the results, 1-1 on paper, the world number 6 versus world number 7 looks fair. Brazil equalized through Vini Jr. in the 32nd minute, while Morocco had already struck first through Ismail Saibari in the 21st minute, following excellent work from Brahim Diaz to send him through. Saibari punished Brazil's defensive gaps, while Diaz repeatedly carried the ball into dangerous areas, especially on the right, where he is positioned and involved in many of Morocco's attacking sequences. Even goalkeeper Bono played a huge role with ball saves and key distributions from the back. Tactically, Morocco deserves enormous credit. They defended very compactly. They pressed Brazil effectively in phases and looked dangerous whenever they transition forward, especially the last part of the final third. Brazil controlled possessions but often struggled to create any good chances against Morocco's very organized defensive shape. The shot map and match stats tell an interesting story. Morocco actually outshot Brazil 14-12 and generated slightly higher expected goals value. This suggests that despite Brazil's possession advantage, Morocco's chances were at least more dangerous. The momentum timeline on the left immediately explains why many viewers felt Morocco were a more aggressive side, especially in the first half. The red momentum swings dominate the early stages. Morocco started strongly, pressed aggressively, and scored through Saibari in the 21st minute. That goal appeared in Morocco's positive zone because it was generated during their strongest spell of dominance. Brazil gradually recovered and found the equalizer through Vini in the 32nd minute. After that, the match became much more balanced, especially in the second half, with both sides having periods of control, but it seems like none can penetrate through the other. For the expected goals chart, we can see Morocco finishing with a higher SG at 1.44 compared to Brazil's 1.42. Though difference looks small, it confirms Morocco actually created marginally better shooting opportunities than Brazil. The non-shot expected goals tells a different story. Brazil finished higher. Um, it measures the dangerous possession sequences, territorial control, ball progression, and movement before the shot even happens. So Brazil was better in building pressure and sustaining attack, while Morocco were more efficient once they reached dangerous areas. This is why the game feels fascinating statistically. Brazil were better at controlling territory, but Morocco were more effective and converting attacks into quality chances. If you look at the passing networks, um, we can see that for Brazil, Gabriel, Paqueta, and Marquinhos were the highest contribution percentages. Together, they accounted for nearly 40% of all touches in Brazil's stable lineup period. They circulate possession through central defenders and midfields before looking to release to Vini on the left side. Vini only has 6.9% of total touches, but remain Brazil's most dangerous attacking weapon. So it doesn't mean influence is always touching the ball more often as he uh, stay in the position getting ready to receive the passes. Ashraf Hakimi led all players on the field with 69 touches and over 15% contribution. And his counterparts, Hani and Nasser Masraoui, were also heavily involved. And you can see that the most important player is likely El Arnaoui, number 24. His central position in the passing network shows that many attacks flow through him. Combined with Baldi, Morocco's midfield detected large portion of the match, and the network is slightly more advanced and interconnected in attacking areas. This reflects what we see more in the game qualitatively. They were not merely defending and counter-attacking. They were actively trying to control attacking transitions. The key links highlight at the bottom shows where the strongest passing combinations existed. This overall passing network reinforced the idea that Morocco were brave tactically and more organized through the match. Um, this is the overall generation of more detailed stats from the match. You can see most revealing that Morocco out-attacked Brazil. The numbers back up the impression. First, look at the first half intensity chart. Morocco generated 7 shots before halftime compared to just 4 from Brazil. Many of the chances were sustained during the pressure between 10th to 30th minutes. Then we see the Morocco's midfield dominance. Baudi and El Arnaoui covered nearly 24 kilometers combined. They weren't simply running hard, they were controlling space, winning second balls, and supporting attacks. Uh, they created better chances as they generated higher SG, more shots, more final third receptions, more ball progressions, more open play crosses. So they reached dangerous attacking areas more frequently than Brazil. And how they attacked, they completed 0 open play crosses despite creating more quality opportunities. They rely on central combinations, quick passing exchanges, and progressive carries through the middle. That is surprising statistic coming from goalkeeper Yazin Bono. He produced 17 line-breaking distributions compared to only 9 for Alisson. So act as an additional playmaker from the back, helping to bypass Brazil's first line of pressure. For the pressing section, many viewers sense but couldn't easily quantify. But Brazil pressed more often overall, but Morocco also recovered possessions more efficiently. They forced more turnovers and regained the ball faster. In other words, Morocco pressed smarter rather than harder than Brazil. The heat maps at the bottom reinforce this conclusion. Morocco occupied more dangerous central and half space areas during the first half, leading directly to their goal and several of their best attacking moments. You can see the heat map shifting more to the offensive side, the final third. So this wasn't a lucky draw for Morocco. They really matched Brazil physically, tactically, and statistically. Um, they may have been a better side of the night looking at the overall stats. So then we look at Group C overall. Brazil and Morocco draw what it means for the rest of Group C. After match one, Scotland surprisingly sit on top of the group with 3 points following the 1-0 victory over Haiti. Brazil and Morocco both have 1 point after the draw, while Haiti remains bottom without a point. At first glance, Scotland at the top may look impressive, but the reality is that Brazil and Morocco remains overwhelmingly the favourites to qualify to the knockout stages. Let's look at the remaining features. Brazil still had to face, of course, Haiti and Scotland. Based on FIFA rankings, Brazil hold enormous advantages in both matches. Haiti are ranked 83rd in the world compared to Brazil's 6th, with a gap of 77 places. Scotland are ranked 95th, creating an even larger gap of 89 places. Morocco face exactly the same challenge. They play both of them too. On paper, they should expect a win given that the gap is just one world ranking against Brazil. So we expect Brazil and Morocco to advance, and both teams given around 45% chances of finishing top of the group. Scotland's chances are much lower despite current leading because their toughest matches are still ahead. So the most likely scenario will be Brazil, Morocco, and then Scotland, and finally Haiti. So it comes to goal differences and points for Brazil, Morocco, in terms of who will be first and second. So that is pretty much the outlook of the whole group, and let's enjoy the rest of the competition, and hopefully Group C will be more straightforward than as predicted. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope you enjoy more of the beautiful game as you continue the long journey in the tournament. Bye for now. Take care.